You're watching an episode of Spirits People Live with Johnny Michelson.
Right, I think that's it. Going live on a Tuesday. Cheers, everybody. See what happens. So, got some rum today. Got Stephen James. Bourbon and barbecue. What's going on, buddy? Got some old-fashioned going on. Actually, a rum old-fashioned. Jonathan. Cheers, man. Patrimonio. Man, I wish I could barbecue today. It is fucking hot in London right now. It's crazy. Lee, what's going on? Barrels and Drams are joining us. Rum Diaries is in the house. Steven is going to be live with me, aka rum_diaries. So, yeah, let's do this. Man, I have a garden. I've been inside all day, suffering. And, yeah, next week it will be clear why. There's something happening next week. See, we can, how does this work again? Steven, trying to get you on. Add. Stephen James. There he is.
Hey.
A gentleman and a scholar.
An iced water drinker tonight.
What's that?
An iced water drinker tonight.
Oh, jeez. I'm on my 4th gallon.
Yeah, I think I've done. I might maybe put away somewhere, but I've got a 1.5 litre bottle I keep by my desk in the office. That had about 4.5 refills today. It is hot in Manchester.
It's fucking insane in London too, man. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. It's not. This country is not built for that. So we're in an old Georgian house, and it's
God,
like zero thing happening in terms of like air circulation. Nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh well, that's why we drink. I got an old fashioned here,
Nice.
made with this guy.
Oh, blimey. Is it good then?
No. This is a very good rum old fashioned.
Very good rum makes very good rum old fashions.
You know it.
Mm.
Yeah, man. This is delicious, and I made this like. It feels like I made this 5 minutes ago, but the ice is almost gone.
As is the way.
Man, it's crazy. So it's been a month since we chatted last. I was just checking because I can remember. Yeah, 1 month actually. 1 month or maybe it's like 1 day under a month. But yeah, it's been a while.
Right.
We did the mobile tasting.
Yeah.
That was the last time.
Blimey. That has flown by.
I know, time flies, man.
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
Not much, to be brutally honest. We trying to think of the time whether I've been to Liverpool. So if it's about a month, I was invited to through Marussia Beverages, who are the importers of Dawley's rum, and obviously the Foursquare exceptional cask selection. I was lucky enough to get kind of an invite to go to the Titanic Hotel in Liverpool, where there was going to be kind of more of a trade or bartenders kind of evening, where Richard and Gail were there, and Bruce and Chloe from Marussia Beverages, and it was kind of a little bit of a talk beforehand with Richard, then a few cocktails, and then it was a dinner with a rum with each course, and then an extra one at the end. So we tried. We went through the Dawley's 14. We did the 2007. We did Hereditas. We did Emperor. So
Wow.
we had quite the lineup.
Man, sounds
Actually,
like
we did 12. We did 12 as well. We started off with Dawley's 12, start at 40%, and
right.
then so we did 5 rums that evening. That was a good evening, and that ended up at about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, sitting outside the Titanic Hotel next to the river, drinking rum and cokes and smoking cigars with Richard, which is good.
Nice.
So, all good
awesome,
fun.
man.
Yeah, it was good.
What was the favorite of the night?
For me, I've got a real soft spot for Emperor. I think I know Hereditas kind of was the one that came out of nowhere. We knew there were going to be a series of exceptional cask releases, as there always are. But Hereditas was kind of the curveball thrown in.
Right.
But Emperor I do like, and also Dawley's 14 is an absolutely awesome rum. You know, it takes the 12 and then just builds on it with its ex-bourbon and ex-Madeira cask. But then it's released at 48%, so you kind of get the heft that comes along with it, far woodier, but not stupidly so. It's a proper decent chewy rum. So so the 2007 as well has been a slow burner for me. I'm finding it. I was such a big fan of the 2005, and then 2007 came along, and it was kind of like I didn't know where I was going. I enjoyed 2005 so much. I thought I'd give 2007. Tried it, and it's an instant like for it. But with the sherry cask rum, they kind of took over a little bit in terms of my attention. So, but now going back to 2007, awesome rum. It doesn't really do a bad one, does it, to be brutally honest?
Yeah, and you just I saw you posted your big review.
Yeah.
I know we were talking about it, like that's a while back that you wanted to release the review. So I actually did a quick scan this time, because the last time we did something, I think I purposely didn't look at your blog before, just to kind of get a completely clean. But this time I was quite interested because I've had this before a few times, and I only have there might be a dram left in this. So yeah, I was curious to see what you had written about it, and yeah, I think I agree with a lot of it. I think a lot of the nuances I probably don't get, but I think it was a good read. I can recommend it.
It's good to know someone does.
Yeah, man. Cool. We got some people in the house. Got some Canadians joining here. 10-minute break. All right, cool. Joining the live in this break. That's awesome.
Cool.
What's everyone sipping out there? We're sipping on some rum here. So we got the Patrimonio. Do you have a dram, or are you just drinking water tonight? There we go.
Yeah, got it about 15 minutes ago. Yeah, this is my excuse for midweek drinking. This is.
I know. Yeah, I was trying so hard not to have a dram last night, but then as soon as it started cooling down, it's like all the windows were open. It started getting some air in. It's like, I'll have a light bourbon. It doesn't count, does it?
No, surely not. No, definitely not.
Sweet. Emma's drinking rum. Sweet.
Awesome.
All right. Jonathan's drinking Heineken Zero. Is that?
Oh yeah. Still waiting for the second child. So he's on alcohol-free rations.
Oh God. You poor bastard, man. You poor bastard. We got Chris reviews as well joining here. Nice. Cool. So how do you want to do this? I can give you my notes like we did the last time. We can do it like that, just to kind of have some kind of structure. I thought that worked okay, I guess. Cool. So let me. I jotted down a few things. I was trying to find my previous notes, but I couldn't find them. I have these kind of notebooks lying everywhere. I need to find a better system for taking notes. I don't know if you have any. Do you use an app or anything like that, or do you just use notebooks?
No, I used to write it all down in like a a nice little kind of leather-bound notepad. Filled that up, and then decided to just use the notes section on the iPad, and then just get all the notes back up to iCloud. So I took photographs of all the pages in the book, and then did a backup of those. I do it all on the iPad now, and that enables me to kind of piece it all together into WordPress a little bit easier as well.
Yeah. I was thinking about, because I've been, I remember a while back I tried some of those apps, and there are a handful of them out there to kind of take notes. But I didn't really find anything I liked, because I wanted it to be almost like a taxonomy, so that I could use it to compare notes between different spirits and stuff like that. But nothing really exists. So business idea right there. All right, cool. So Patrimonio, everyone. So my notes on the nose is that it's, I guess first of all, it's super intense. Like you can smell it from like down here. It's super pronounced. And then the thing I jotted down first. So just for the record, I took these notes and then I looked at your blog. So I completely agree with that kind of pungent thing that comes up. It does definitely need some time to kind of adjust in the glass. So the first thing I got was just nail polish and ethanol, and that kind of like continues to kind of dull down over time. But then like under that is like there's a ton of brown sugar, there's some icing sugar, there's some baked banana with vanilla ice cream. It's a little bit of like almost like a whipped cream sensation. It's very creamy in the mouth as well. It's super oily, super viscous. And then there's like some darker notes. I got some prunes, some dates. I got some cherries, and then I got some oak and some char. And I think the char was quite sharp. So it was almost like almost like a burnt pineapple. Like a charred pineapple, because it's that fruitiness. It's super fruity. It's super intense on those notes, but then there's like this char along with it. So yeah, those are kind of my notes that I jotted down like just before the stream here. That's the nose.
I mean, it's a strange one, this one, because you consider it. I think it's almost it's an exercise or an example of it's similar the thing to what we were saying with the Hoba stuff, whereby their distillates can produce so many different characteristics, like the French oak, completely different to the green label, and completely different to the American oak age. They're all similar origins, but creating these kind of unique things. And that's the same with this, really. I mean, this again, it's single blended, so it's double retort pot still, twin column still, blended before maturation, so it's put in the barrel as a pot column blend. 14 years in ex-bourbon, and then there's a portion of it that is, what does that say? I think it's, 10 years in, 10 years in ex-bourbon, and then 4 years in the Oloroso barrels. Right. So one of them is a full 14 years ex-bourbon, and the other component in there is 10 years ex-bourbon, and then all of that shifted to ex-Oloroso for 4 years. And the Oloroso, apparently they were first fill cask, so they all had different origins or different stories before they arrived at the distillery, but they were all first fill. I think it's from those things you'll see with, I'll need to send you a drop of the Hereditas and Emperor, but Emperor drinks. I mean, obviously, with this one, you need time. It just needs to sit there. It needs to kind of acclimatise and get itself accustomed to its surroundings. Whereas Emperor, you can pour that in the glass and you can dive straight in. It's a very, very easy drinker. Same with Hereditas, really. Hereditas needs a little time, but nowhere near as much time as the Patrimonio. Okay.
What are the ABV on those two compared to this one? This is 58.
Yeah, 56. So it's only 2%. They drink completely differently.
Interesting.
Or I do find that maybe it is the the fact that I have left this for a lot longer. But I think it drinks a lot easier than it smells. I think and don't get me wrong, it's still super intense to drink.
Yeah.
But I think you get the effect that you're going to be, you're going to struggle in terms of, the heft of it on the palate. And whilst it's a big, chewy, bold rum, it's it's not unapproachable. It's ridiculously soft for what it is. When you consider, 58%, 14 years, I mean, you would expect that to be a bit of a bruiser. And whilst it still does have a lot of weight on the palate, and it's got plenty of grip on the mid palate, it's approachable as well. It's pretty soft, and that's just well managed maturation.
Yeah, that's the second time you said chewy. I like it.
Got Star Wars on the brain.
I'm gonna add that to my vocabulary. Chewy.
Yeah.
But it's true though. It's like the viscosity on it is quite extreme.
Mm.
And yeah, chewy is a very good word for it. And I think also that kind of, because I use the term whipped cream, and it's also like the whipped cream in terms of like almost like it has volume.
Yeah.
In a sense that only like whipped cream has, like it's super light, but it has a lot of volume.
Mm.
So yeah, super good, man. Like I'm kind of bummed that I only have a little bit left, but then again, I was given this bottle and it was like to here or something like that, and then I just kind of slammed half of that, and had to save it a little bit.
Then you realise just how good it was, and then wish you hadn't slammed the rest of it.
Well, there's a world of beautiful spirits, man. So I think I'll be fine.
No, I mean, with this one, I think the comparisons to Emperor and Hereditas, I think although this is proper dark fruits and a lot of stone fruit in there, and it has that kind of characteristic to it, there are also with Emperor and Hereditas, they play more on the fruity aspects, whereas this, I think, this is far more over on the woody side of things than Hereditas and Emperor. Maybe that's what makes them easier drinkers. I mean, I'm like 2/3 of the bottle down Emperor. That's not in that many visits. That's the problem. I've only had the bottle off the shelf about five times, and that's over 2/3 down the bottle. Oh. So that just shows how easy a drinker that is. But this one, I think it does have it does have that smoke. I think in the nose I've written plenty of wood, plenty of smoke. Then I think what you were talking about, the kind of like the charred pineapple almost, is what I came with, like a candied boiled fruit note. Mm-hmm. As it sits in the glass for a bit longer, you get that kind of sticky candied fruit kind of note with it.
Yeah.
But it just keeps growing as a rum. My notes, they're never taken over one sitting. They're taken over multiple glasses, multiple times a day, sometimes an afternoon, sometimes evening, very rarely in the morning, but, it has been known. But
the best time to taste.
But it's... So they're generally a compilation of maybe 4 or 5 visits to the rum as well. Some that you get, you have to make a quick judgment based on a 50ml or a 75ml sample that you get. When you have this and you have a release like this, you've got to really nail it down, because it does give plenty out there for you to experience.
Yeah.
I think a few bottles made it to the UK. Not many, but a few made it to the UK, and they pretty much disappeared instantly.
Mm. Jonathan saying it sounds better than Heineken Zero.
Nothing's better than Heineken Zero, surely.
This is top of the pyramid right there. Heineken Zero is like, where are you going to go?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the beautiful thing with this rum as well, and where it's coming from, with obviously Patrimonio is kind of translates as heritage. Whether that's heritage you're using the double retort pot still and the twin column still, as you would in the Caribbean, or whether it's like the heritage of the maturation techniques. Because obviously, I think in the past we've touched on the fact that bourbon or ex-bourbon barrels, their use for maturation in at least in the rum world is relatively modern. Probably talking maybe 60s, 70s. I don't know. Before that, it was all, you've got to consider Barbados is an island. So the availability of all of the those large American oak trees, they ain't there. So obviously, bourbon helps because the single-use policy with casks there meant that at one time, I did read an article that's saying at one time that, loads of distilleries just had tons of casks that they couldn't do anything with.
Yeah.
But maturation historically was kind of fortified wine was brought over to the island. And then to avoid shipping the empty casks back, it was filled with local unaged rum. So you would get lightly aged rums being transported to Europe. The Harewood House rum from 1780, that had kind of a, I'd say that rum's probably, it's got to be no older than 6 months. And it had, even though it is 238 years old, it isn't 238 years old. It was just 238 years ago. It's about 6 months old. But yeah, but that doesn't stop a good marketing story, does it? But no, so I think it was a case of that had kind of like a fortified wine note. And traditionally, rum originally wouldn't have been made entirely. Molasses would have had cane skimmings in there. So that was kind of what gave it a bit of a grassy note. But you've got to think that, Barbados is currently, they have a draft GI, geographical indicator, for Barbados rum. Jamaica have theirs. That has gone through. That has actually, that is now live. It's just then kind of getting everyone else to recognise the GI. Similar way to, with whiskey, if you try and sell it in any other location, they immediately throw you back to the Scotch whisky rules written in Scotland. Mm-hmm. So you need to do that you need to get these GIs recognised for rum. So you refer back to the law of Jamaica to if you want to put Jamaican rum on the bottle, and that would be it's got to have the local water, it's got to have a specific yeast strain, it's got a local sugar cane or what have you. Barbados has its own draft GI. That's currently in the process of certain people trying to almost derail it by digging up small bits of evidence that point to something that they want it to point to. Just because one person did something at some point in the past doesn't mean that reflects rum making on the island now.
Right.
So all this is done with there's innovation there, and it's all being done with in full compliance with the GI. And a lot of people are saying, well, the GI is restrictive. And so, well, the GI is not restrictive. It doesn't stop you making what you want to make.
Yeah.
You can do anything that you want on the island. You can put unicorn tears in there. You just can't call it Barbados rum or Jamaican rum. So I find it disappointing that there are people out there that maybe they see the inherent value from a marketing point of view, from a quality standard point of view, and from a reputation point of view of utilising the name Barbados rum or Jamaican rum. And then they just want to go and fuck with it and try and get something past them. The GI limits it to 20 grams per litre for additions. And so the limitation should be 0 because that's how they make rum on the island. Just because one person does something or wants to do something a different way. I mean, the other killer for the people that are trying to almost derail it is the fact that they don't mature in location. They have dual maturation. So they would mature on the island, and it is a requirement of the GI for Jamaica and Barbados, in draft form in Barbados, to mature solely on the island, to call it Barbados rum. And the guys that are trying to do it, they mature on the island and then they ship over to Europe and mature it in other barrels of their choice, generally cognac. So it's that split location, and it's everyone's trying to dig up this evidence of a journey on the sea in a barrel will increase the ester levels because of the movement of the liquid within the cask. People do ship in casks. But with the volume that they're shipping to Europe, they'll be shipping in massive plastic crates.
Yeah.
So what the wood does when you're trying to make an experiment on 2 barrels means fuck all for the bottled product, because you're shipping it over in plastic containers. So it's all it's all those extra esters gained from the plastic containers. It's a nonsense. It makes a mockery of it, but there is a fight there.
Man, that's politics, man. That's politics. It's
always going to be there.
Always.
It's politics and outside interference. So the hashtags you look out for are hashtag Guardians of Rum, and the new one is hashtag Save Barbados Rum. So you need to be looking for posts there. That's where you'll find some genuine information on what is a ridiculously hot topic for a very hot day.
All right, for a very hot day indeed. Holy shit! I started sweating just listening to you talk. It's like, holy shit, I hate these people, and now I'm sweating like a pig. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm like made of bacon right now. It feels like I'm on a hot pan. I'm just like sweating.
Yeah, but bacon tastes good.
It fucking does, man. Fucking does. All right. So a few people joining here. So I don't know how many people are still in the house, but we are still drinking the Patrimonio when we're not listening to Steven's news update from the world of rum, which is always interesting. It's very enlightening.
My rant.
Yeah, right. Hashtag what Steven says. So cool. I'm gonna get onto the palette for this one, but wanted to do one thing here. So I'm quite obsessed with these coins now. So over the past couple of weeks, I can't remember when I started, but I think it was Vin from No Nonsense Whiskey, the YouTube channel, who kind of got me hooked on these. So I got a couple of coins from him, and ever since that, I've been obsessed. So I've been buying coins from all these different YouTube channels and Instagram accounts. So yeah, this one's from Scotch Test Dummies. So these are quite funny. Anyway, just wanted
Are they
to...
kind of little things to put over the top of the glass, or?
Yeah, it's just a hat. So it just it keeps the aromas in. So when you just let it sit, it just fits, and it's just like a poker chip. It's just like it's yeah. I don't know. I'm obsessed. I don't need another obsession. It's a problem. Anyway, this actually serves a purpose, so it's okay. Cool. So let me. I'll put that down. Put that away. Stop it. So let's see. So I want to give you my thoughts on the palette here.
Yeah.
On the Patrimonio. So basically, yeah. So ending with the nose had that kind of. We talked about the whipped cream and that kind of like volume and lightness, and kind of like creaminess it kind of has. And like as soon as you sip it, the thing I get is almost like it's like a syrup or like an oil. Like it's super, super creamy and silky. But then again comes that like burnt pineapple. Yeah. So like a lot of pineapple. Again, there's a lot of banana. But then there's like a second wave of flavor characteristics that kind of comes to show is like a lot darker notes. So I got some raisins, some peppercorns, some coffee beans, some dark chocolate, almost like a mint dark chocolate. Right. Just like a hint of mint in there. I don't know if it's mint, but there's like a freshness around that kind of chocolate sensation.
Yeah, like a menthol, maybe.
Menthol, yeah. Probably. Hold on. Yes, menthol. That's it. Hit the nail on the head right there. Menthol. And then the last thing is black licorice. So that kind of lingers. And it's like a very specific, I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's almost like it's probably more like a licorice root.
Yeah. One of the sections of my notes was powdered licorice root.
All right, there you go.
Hey.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's the finish. That's what continues.
Yeah.
The licorice root plus that kind of burnt sensation, and then a little bit of that kind of nail polish kind of lingers as well. Man, it's fucking delicious, man. It's really, really good. It's super complex. I think what I would want to do, because I really liked, I think we did that together as well, like the Tiger Shock.
Yes.
We did that. I really enjoyed that, but I have a feeling that I actually like this more. So
Right.
I probably saved the last of these for a blind tasting. I'll probably do an episode of my podcast with this one and the other one, and I'll ask my wife to kind of pour them blind for me.
Yeah.
See if I can pick them apart. Probably the sherry might give it away in this, because the Tiger Shock doesn't have a sherry cask finish, right?
No.
It might
No,
give it away.
straight up ex-bourbon.
Yeah. But it's blind, you never know. So I could be fooled.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking once I've completed my my trifecta of the sherry casks with Emperor is the next one to come. I think next I may look into trying to get, because I think that I can discern the differences, perhaps not as much with Emperor and Hereditas on the nose, but definitely on the palate with those two. So
Okay.
that might be something to get B to do, to kind of pour these, number them, and I'll do it by nose, and then get her to renumber and reference them, so that I don't obviously then see the number and see an association, and then try and do it on the palate as well.
Yeah.
Just to see if I can pick all three out. I mean, I think this one will pick out, because it does have that almost an extra level of maybe intensity than the others. But yeah, I mean, notes on the palate for me were very, very oily mouthfeel. Plenty of heat, but nothing near what you would expect from something that's 58%. And actually, it's pretty soft in its approach. What else did I put? Sweetness, baked apples, mincemeat, solid and moist Christmas fruitcake, candied citrus peel, developing demerara sugar note. The palate dominated by growing and increasingly more forceful wet oak that exerts like an arid dryness on the palate. Less spice notes from the barrel, but they are there.
Mm-hmm.
Deep sherried notes appear and cast a little bit of bitterness that's aligned with the robust oak. Tart fruit like cranberry and fresh raspberry, maybe a hint of gooseberry. Ripe Victoria plums, continual drive from the wood, bringing vanilla and coconut notes from the barrel. Plenty of cocoa. Kind of one thing that I did get was if you've had fig cake, it's a Spanish thing, I think. And it was kind of fig cake, yeah, it's a horrific thing to eat because it's just full of seeds. But it's really tasty. You get that kind of intenseness and almost toffee-like feel to it.
Right.
But you also retain some of that some of the freshness of a fig in there. It's pretty similar to that as well, towards the back end or heading off into the finish, coming out of the mid palate.
Yeah.
But yeah, that growing bitterness and fruit, and then yeah, the finish pretty much entirely consistent with the palate, with the addition of a few tobacco notes from the wood, and then the powdered licorice written like a whiff of burnt splints at the end, like the little wooden splints you would use over a Bunsen burner in science class at school. Yeah. That kind of a really light smoke. But it's well balanced, always well balanced.
There's a lot. I mean, it's super complex. There's a lot of notes, but I think like what I always like to look at in terms of like the quality of the spirits is a balance between like your appearance, your nose, and your palate plus the finish. Like the whole thing is a beautiful journey. There's lots of links throughout, so that's always like a really good sign. And like although there is a lot of flavors and a lot of aromas kind of playing around in this glass, they all belong.
Yeah.
Which for me is like, yes, this is like an extremely well balanced, beautiful rum.
Yeah, it works well. I mean, you can say, well, I'll try and do for you as well as, I don't know how many of the other releases you've tried. You've tried Destino?
I tried it actually at the
Rumfest. Yeah.
Rumfest. Boom.
Right.
Rumfest glass. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah. Well, we've got, throughout the range, there was the 2006. That was kind of the first collaboration with, or the first one that was distributed in Europe by Velier. That was 3 years ex-bourbon, 7 in ex-cognac. Then there was Triptych being the 3. So that was Virgin Oak. I think there was Madeira and ex-bourbon in there. Virgin Oak was kind of a response to, at the time, the potential that there was going to be a shortage of ex-bourbon casks.
Right.
But obviously with Virgin Oak being so aggressive on the spirit, which I assume is why they use it in bourbon, because if you're doing kind of a one-shot distillation through a single column, maybe, you get the good, the bad, and the ugly with the spirit. So you need to quickly kind of round out and remove the ugly to enable the good and the slightly bad to kind of amalgamate and create something beautiful. And I think that was what he was experimenting with the Virgin Oak. But that was for the blend that went in the Virgin Oak, still pot and column blend, but it was more pot heavy to kind of
Triptych?
Yeah, it was more pot heavy to kind of carry the effects of the Virgin Oak a little bit better. But what I'll do then, there was Principia as well, which was 6 years in Oloroso, as well as some ex-bourbon time. So what I might try and do is, I've got very small amount of, I only ever bought 2 bottles of 2006. The first one is a far and distant memory that disappeared way too quickly. But the second one is there. It is open. It's live. So I'll try and get you a sample of that, a sample of Triptych, a sample of Principia as well, just so that you can compare the range. I think this one here kind of, it's the one that truly competes with 2006. 2006 was a benchmark rum. It was a really beautiful product. And I think it focused a lot of people's minds on what was coming out of Barbados. So we'll do that.
Got Barnaligo saying, hey everyone, what's going on? Rum Loving is joining us. KCBT78 is joining us. Scotch Universe, Lisa Whiskey is popping in. I don't know if Jonathan is still here or is he run into the hospital. Whiskey Hype is here. Jonathan was saying, he was saying earlier in the chat here, I was just keeping an eye on it. So apparently 1 week. So it's a 1 week countdown, which is, now I'm just preparing for next week as well. So I've been talking about this over the past couple of weeks. So next week, the 31st of July is the 1 year anniversary of Spirits People.
Right.
So yeah, there'll be a celebration of sorts. Maybe with a little baby Leanie. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. He definitely won't be holding the baby if he's off the Carlsberg Zero.
Oh no, it's sitting there with a hip flask.
Yeah. Manchester Rum Festival. That's all I'll say to him.
When is that? Or did
that was in June.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but forgets to drink water.
Got the London Whisky Club in house. What's going on? So we haven't. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, double giveaway. Oh, speaking of, Jonathan's like, hey, I have a tote bag. Yes, tote bags. I knew there was something I was forgetting. So I posted a video earlier. This bag is, there we go. So this bag goes out every week, as most of you folks know. And yeah, we have to give away 2, because last week I was in Brooklyn. Walking around. I was waiting to go to JFK to fly back to London, so I could not go live last week, so there will be a double giveaway today. Had a few new people joining actually over the past couple of weeks. It was quiet because I didn't really talk about it that much, which is kind of dumb when you do a giveaway. That's the whole point. Yeah, so I kind of forgot about it, and then it just became like something automatic. But yeah, I'll continue to do these. So yeah, a few people started joining, which is awesome. So we
Cool.
have a couple of new faces in the lineup, and
Awesome.
yeah, let's see if I can get this. Let's do it. Let's actually just do it here. Let's see. Let's see what we have here. So Stephen, my personal assistant,
Mm-hmm.
do a little drum roll. We have. Actually, let's name the people because we've never done this. Let's name the people who were in the running. We'll
Right.
call them out. The patrons. So we have Balcones Winston. I'm assuming from Balcones Whiskey in Texas. We have Bourbon Brett, number 5.
What happened to 1, 2, 3, and 4?
I don't know. This guy is fifth ranked, apparently. So Bourbon Brett, you are number 5, and you have 2 entries. Every single other entry is only a single entry. Bourbon Brett has 2. So it's a lot of like I'll sneak one Spirits Tuesday in, and then I'll just like disappear into the distance and wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
But what most people don't know is that you can post as many as you want. All right, Bourbon Wanderer, a new person to join. Welcome.
Awesome.
Chasing Rum, which is I think Chasing Rum is right here in the chat. Welcome to you as well. Distilled KY. I have no idea what that means. Sounds Polish, but KY would suggest Kentucky. And then we have Helm's Deep 68. We have Into Gin. We have Lorand. It's a friend here in London. We have Mark Carter, 52. We got Queen City Bourbon. Robbo's Man, 87. And Whiskey Edge. I saw Whiskey Edge in the chat as well. So those are all of the Spirits Tuesday contestants. How about
Nice.
that?
Awesome.
Boom. Named and shamed. All right, so that's between 2 and 14. And if you want to pick 2 numbers at the same time, and hopefully it's not going to be Bourbon Brett 5, because he's the only one with 2. So if you pick 2 numbers between 2 and 14.
Right, we'll go for 14, the Age of Patrimonio, and we'll go for 4.
Oh. I lost you there for a second. 14 and what?
4.
14 and 4. All right, so I'm going to randomize. All right, Mark Carter, 52, is 14. Boom. And Lorand is number 4. Boom.
Awesome.
Double boom. Congrats, guys. Spirits People tote bags coming at you. Amazing. I'm loving this Patrimonio, but I will tell you one thing, it's fucking making me sweat.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just the heat, I don't know. But yeah, it feels like it's making me sweat.
Yeah, same.
Oh my god. Oh yeah. What else is happening? Anything coming up?
I'm on holiday. Yay.
Yes.
That's start of August, don't we, to the North Norfolk. Kind of got family connections down there, so we always or used to go down as kids. Picked that up about 5 or 6 years ago. Last time I went prior to that was 1990, so that ages me slightly. But yeah, then it's moving into October. Not wanting to wish the year away. It's 10th wedding anniversary in October.
All right.
It's on the Thursday before Rumfest weekend in London. Yeah, no. The amazing thing is, B booked to the hotel, perfectly fine with going to Rumfest on our anniversary weekend.
Nice.
So we're off to Barbados again in November.
Solid. That sounds amazing.
So yeah, I don't want to wish the rest of the year away, but by the same token, this stuff, whilst it's awesome here, tastes even better in Barbados.
Oh man, dude, and I might see you on your anniversary.
Hey, coming down again.
Yeah, I'm planning on it. So
Nice.
see if I can make it happen. I have a couple of things coming up, So I'm going to a whiskey festival in Poland, of all places.
Right.
So I'm flying to Gdansk at the end of August.
Cool.
And yeah, and as I said, and there's a big watch out for next week. So next Tuesday, I'll be chatting with Martinez. I'm going to send him some blind samples because I like sending people blind samples.
Cool.
Fuck with people. And then, yeah, so that's Tuesday. And then Wednesday, the day after, is the 1-year anniversary of Spirits People. So things will happen. So that's exciting. So I've been working on a bunch of stuff here in the background, which is why I haven't been able to leave the house today, because I would have just sat in the garden. But yeah, I had to do some stuff in the kitchen, of all places. So yeah, I was sweating my pants off all day. Ridiculous.
Well, you're in your own house. Sure, you're just walking around in your underpants. That's the way it works, isn't it?
That's what I did.
Oh, God.
Didn't work.
Good.
I had the Dyson on blast. Did nothing. All right, man. Yeah, I think that's it. That's pretty good for a Tuesday. This is delicious. This is my last little bit before I finish this bottle. And yeah, as I said, I'll probably do a podcast episode with the Patrimonio and yeah, maybe the Tiger Shark. I don't know. Is there any, like, what would you recommend doing a blind tasting of the Patrimonio next to something else than the Tiger Shark? Something that's a little bit more maybe similar.
Yeah, I'd say I'll try and send you some Empery and Hereditas, both the kind of triplets.
All right, and they all have the sherry cask finish.
They're all about sherry cask, yeah. Right, but I mean, you could. There is a Worthy Park out there that has sherry cask finish, Oloroso. Actually, there are 2 Worthy Parks that have Oloroso finish on them. One for a little bit longer than another. But yeah, it'd be good to do kind of like a back-to-back of maybe a few fortified wine matured rums. Plenty out there. Nice.
Yeah, I might do that actually. And this will be, maybe that'll be the first triple blind tasting on the podcast. So who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Look forward to. So yeah, that's awesome, man.
Cool.
Yeah, we can chat after this, but
yeah,
that'll be awesome. That'll be exciting to try those next to each other.
Definitely.
All right, cool, man.
Awesome.
I think let's close it out. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Christina Kim. Just as we're closing out, Christina, peace out to you. Hope everything is well. All right, thanks, man.
Cool.
All right, cheers, everybody. Peace out.
Cheers. See ya.
Thank you for watching this episode of Spirits People Live. For more videos, check out spiritspeople.com, subscribe on YouTube, and be sure to follow us on Instagram, where we connect you with spirits people worldwide.